This is quite a long run that they chased us towards the ghetto. And after as they were chasing us out, the first thing we had to do is to grab whatever it is that we could take with us. And my father had made a big, huge pack and had it on his back. And they were chasing us, and I, the 12-year-old, also grabbed the bedspread, and I put lots of things in it, including a pillow and an electrical cord and some clothes and everything. But then, in the fullness of time, as we were running and running and running, this pack, the bedspread and the thing, it started to unwind. It started to unwind, and I started to untie, and I started losing the things that I had there. So I was screaming to my father that, oh my God, I'm losing, it's untying, I'm losing things. But he could do nothing. We were being chased faster than lightning, and he got horribly mad at me. That, I mean, here we are in this horrible situation, and I'm whining and complaining that the thing is untying, and he was screaming, "You have no heart. You are entirely heartless, or a heart out of tin. That's all you have." So here I was, and finally, by a miracle of God, I didn't lose anything, and I was staggered into there. And it wasn't that far, but it felt extremely far to me.
Hey kids, what happens when you whine? 60 years later, you'll still feel bad about whining.
Yeah.
What?
Whining.
Whining. 60 years later, still feels bad about whining.
Grandma's telling her story. I know that I'm
Chased into the ghetto.
be a part of it now.
As I was 12 at that time, just imagine that you are chased out of your home, and you have to think and grab whatever you need for survival. So tell me what
the essential for you.
Yeah. What would you grab?
Or whatever you would want to have.
Well,
In a limited way, because you cannot carry more than what you can carry. What would you get?
One thing I know I would bring is I have a backpack, and in the backpack it's full of just things that mean a lot to me and memories, maybe letters my friends wrote to me, and if I had gotten a medal or a prize from something, that would be in there.
Yeah.
And that's just basically my memories, my accomplishments in life, and everything that means a lot to me. So I'd pack that.
Okay.
I have a fleece blanket I would pack for me to keep warm.
Yes.
I would probably also pack baggy clothes, large clothes, in case I needed to grow into them, if I grew older. And obviously food. And perhaps batteries, if batteries came in handy, if I needed it for anything.
Yes, batteries are always very good. Of course, you need to have something that a radio that, or something. No, but a flashlight. I bet you the flashlight, but I don't know whether there were flashlights at that time.
Oh,
but tell me,
we had lanterns.
So for you, your memories and your friends was the first thing for you to be able to survive, to hold it next to you.
Also, I probably wouldn't be able to carry my dog. And my dog really means a lot to me. And I would probably bring a picture of her if I couldn't bring her.
Okay.
She really means a lot to me.
How about Jonathan?
Okay, Jonathan. Now
A lot of what Becky said about I tried to bring a blanket, a flashlight, and some batteries, and some drive.
I was thinking, like, the one thing I sort of, I sort of remember for me would be the hard drive from on my computer with all my files. But basically, that's. I mean, it's got my school projects and all my music and all my.
That's your life.
Yeah, it's basically just my life in a little box. So.
But
wait a minute. What about basic necessities of daily living?
That's what I was saying.
You know, bread,
that's
water,
what I was saying. I would bring like
a pillow.
I was saying I'd bring a flashlight and some batteries and most of the things my sister mentioned.
Yeah, well, you were saying that you, the one thing, I was carrying a pillow, and believe me, that was a very good thing, because, you know, as you sleep on the floor, it's very nice to have a pillow.
In my opinion, I never have really used pillows. I mean, if I need to sleep,
No, you have 6 of them on your bed.
I have several on my bed, but I don't usually use them. I sleep on the mattress. So for me, my hands or my arms, or even a rock, or even the blanket itself, that has some extra.
Yeah, but the thing is that we just had the hard floor. We had the hard floor. So this pillow, I was lying on it instead of the marked mattress.
I remember, you know, we've had all these news accounts over the last couple of months of, you know, all the terrible things in Kosovo, and where they had all these refugees coming across the border.
What were they carrying?
And well, you know, but they told the same story that the soldiers came and they told them they had 5 minutes to get out or they would kill them, and it brought me back to, you know, this story from 60 years ago. And, you know, certainly I feel happier that at least this time the world stood up and didn't watch idly while the Holocaust was happening. But it was eerie. It was eerie to hear, you know, streams of refugees carrying what they could on their backs. And it brought back visions of you and your parents running down the street with a few minutes' notice. So, you know, it's sad that these things don't, that these things happen again.
The world
Again and again.
learns very slowly, doesn't it?
Yeah. As the saying goes, history repeats itself. This is the corner. So we are here.
And they were chasing us past here, down Savannah.
Okay.
That's it. Up.
You mean up the street?
Up
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah.
The Balvani.
Voice Vilna Ghetto.
Here
Here
stood the gate of the
gate of the big Ghetto Vilna. Door dem had men van 6 September.
From here,
from the 6th of September 1941 till the 23rd of September 1943, were chased to death more than 30,000 Jews. That's what it says there. I think I should take a photo of it.
Shuna was bricked off. There was a huge brick wall, and all the other
Across the entrance.
across the entrance. So around all the streets of the ghetto, there were huge brick walls.
Yeah, where did you enter from? From where?
We entered from Strashuna, but then they did leave one gate where they got in and the workers of the ghetto got out. And that was on Rudnitska, on the Rudnitska street. And
Rudninku, that's it. This is Rudninku.
That's exactly. So this was the only part of the ghetto where it was accessible to the outside.
Were you able to go out?
Where the workers that worked outside had to be checked out through the gate, and then they were being checked in. And the terrible thing was that they were trying to bring food in the ghetto. But if they were found with the food on them, they were killed. So they would throw things. If they heard that Murer who was the bad Gestapo man in charge of the ghetto, if they heard that Murer was at the gate, the place was strewn with pieces of bread and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was for the...
Yeah, let me tell you a
ghetto.
story that my friend Schneidman, who was my classmate in Tarbut, told me. His father worked somewhere in the countryside, so this was the only way for him to bring in some food to the ghetto. He was walking to the ghetto with some either potatoes, I forget now, some vegetables in his pants. As he approached the ghetto, he saw that Germans were standing at the gate to check the people. But it was too late for him to dispose of that food. So, and the severity of the punishment was quite severe. They would beat them up, they would punish them in all kind of ways.
Or kill them. Quite a few
But he had
people
no
were killed.
choice. So he took the chance and walked through with the loaded pants of the thing, and nobody palpated him, and he walked in. But his fear was so big, his adrenaline was pumping so hard, that he walked in beyond the ghetto. He was already safe, and a few meters from the gate, he had a heart attack and dropped dead.
Oh my God.
And that was, that's how charged they were, trying to bring in some food items. Now, when he...
Not cooking on the Sabbath.
So wait, you were stuck in the ghetto with 26 people per room, but
Yes.
you were stuck with a bunch of people from
No,
the Jewish mafia.
Not in our room, in the apartment, and we used the same
Cooking.
little stove. Everybody had his own little stove, and of course, the Unterwelt, the mafia, the Jewish mafia, got to have the first chance at the stove, and so the only time where they would condescend to let everybody else use it would be on the Sabbath, when for Jewish law you could not cook. So my grandmother,
It's a great story.
decided that by golly, no slime is gonna keep her from cooking when it is lawful, and cook only when you break the Jewish law. So she took a frying pan and she pushed it in this very threatening, I guess this woman was trying to throw her off the stove. So she took this frying pan and she pushed it into that woman's nose so that her whole nose was black. And after from soot. After which, my grandmother started cooking during the week, and they never
bothered her.
Well, of course, the whole thing was 1 month that they killed her, but it wasn't the Jews, it was the Nazis that killed her.
Now,
Your grandmother?
When we got married, this lady told me that story first.
Ah.
I would never monkey with her anymore. She has her genes. It's her grandmother genes. Would I dare? Do I want to have a frying pan pushed against my nose? Come on.
I don't think so.
Now, you know why I'm...
So this is...
I'm wrong. I was taken away when I got scarlet fever, and they took me to the infected barracks.
Doorway. So right where you walk.
And my parents came to save me 2 weeks later. So I was out, very, very involuntarily, because I was terribly scared.
Oh, that must have been terrifying.
So then, when there was the so-called Gele Akties, which is when they took everybody who were non-essential workers and family. No, I'm sorry, the essential workers got the yellow shine certificate. Those were called the life certificates. They had the right to survive. Everybody else was killed. So my parents wanted to save me because they got, you got a certificate, the owner of the yellow certificate had the right also to take his wife and 2 children. A third child was too bad. 2 children. So they got a certificate for me. So they ran to the infectious barracks to save me, and they got me out.
Oh my God.
Yes. What was
With
that?
the certificate.
John,
What did you
ask?
ask?
Your parents got a wife and so your dad got
I got the yellow,
certificate
the life certificate.
for a wife and 2 children?
Yeah, well,
But you only, but you're,
But he
I
only
got
one.
But then
did
we
you
also,
save someone else?
yeah, we saved somebody else.
Oh.
Well, you know, you couldn't get a certificate go to waste. But not this one. Unfortunately, on this one, he didn't. They were too eager to run and
get you.
catch me. Because otherwise, if they left me there, I mean, I would be a goner. Very kind and noble Colonel Plagge.
No, Major.
I'm sorry, Major Plagge, who was in charge of the vehicle repair of the army,
Of the German
and who
army.
had called HKP. That's in
HKP.
HKP. HKP.
HKP.
He went to Berlin to persuade them that he cannot repair, continue repairing those very essential vehicles if he doesn't have his Jews. But they were liquidating the ghetto. So he made them put his workers and their families into this work camp, still under SS. And it was established here in those 2 big buildings that were actually built by a Jewish philanthropist. I forget, I don't think it was Rothschild, but somebody like that, for the very poor Jews of Vilna. And it was called the poor houses.
Ormeheiser in Yiddish, the poor houses.
Okay, but I want to get out
the convincing part of the Mayor Plagge, who convinced the headquarters that these Jews were essential to the war effort of the Germans.
Yes.
So
and unfortunately, he was just like Schindler. He was just, and he was better than Schindler because he didn't make any money. Schindler did it for profit or stuff, sort of.
Yeah, well, there was a business part involved.
A business part, not
at the end, maybe.
Not with Mayor Plagge.
But Mayor Plagge did it out of...
No, not with Mayor Plagge. Mayor Plagge did it only to save his Jews.
Yeah.
Permission to establish his workers in those 2 big buildings.
Excuse me.
You have to understand that there was entirely, everything was empty around here. No buildings here, no buildings there. There were no yellow little things there. This was a completely empty space with barbed wire all around it. These poor houses were very nice. They had water, but they have no sewers. So I don't know what the poor people did, you know, during the normal times, but when we were put into this camp, what they did is on this side of this building, they made a ditch. And everybody had to go and do their business in that, I mean, they put like something on top of it, but it was so dirty that, I mean, it was just the same as a ditch. So, my parents decided that they are going with their neighbors. They decided that they are gonna put a pail in a cubby hole so that we can go privately, do our business, and then just, in fact, they did it even more than that, that they hired somebody to empty the pail. So the interesting thing is that I remember that we lived in this building, and there was either a small addition, a two-story addition, and there you entered into a hallway from here, and there was a stairway into the second floor. So under the stairway, there was a cubby hole, and in that cubby hole, they put that pail. And one day, I was 14 years old, and I was very aware that we need a hiding place very badly. But there was nothing forthcoming, and my father was not that way inclined. So one day, I sit on the pail and I see that there is a hole in the floor. So I got interested in that, but then next day I come and there is no trace of the hole. The floor is good as new. So next time on March 27th, when 1943, when they said that the camp is encircled and something horrible is going to happen, I ran to see what happened to my hole, and one of the neighbors was going down. So I immediately ran to get my mother, and we went into that, and it appears that that was the so-called Kinderaktion, when all the children were taken and killed. I don't know whether they would have taken me as a child or not. I was a tall child, but it was much safer in the so-called Malina.
Excuse me, was it 43 or
43? 43.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
44.
That was already 44.
44.
Okay, because we
had to be 44.
We moved into this HKP in September of 43, and the ghetto was liquidated in September of 43. So that's when...
so it had to be March 44.
March 44.
Of course.
Then my father and my cousin's husband, Lolek Szelupski, who was an engineer, they really perfected that hiding place into tremendousness, because instead of just being the basement that you came from, that first floor, they dug an underground passageway into a bricked off other parts of the basement. And that was extremely important because then, when they liquidated this HKP, they actually found and killed everybody in that first part. But fortunately, they didn't see this underground, and we were saved.
How many people were able to be saved?
I don't know. It was supposed to be like just 15 or 20, but we were found out by other people. And obviously, you could not turn away anybody because anybody turned away will tell the Germans about it. So
Could tell the Germans.
well, could and would because they would be mad. And so
Would people do that?
yes.
Really, yeah?
The thing, so the fact was that however perfect that hiding place was, they forgot to do one thing. They had no ventilation.
Yeah.
So we got so stuffy that the candle could not burn.
Oh my God.
And people were going crazy.
From lack of oxygen.
Lack of oxygen, and were screaming. On the other hand, the Germans were around, and that was a thing of a betrayal of life and death. So so the crazy people were killed with bricks
To protect everyone
to protect
else.
everybody
to save
else.
everyone else.
And
oh, that's